Okay, class, let's take a look, see where do we stop. Previously, class, remember that we are in the introduction to Buddhism, teaching history and the practice. Let's take a look. We are in the chapter, let's see first. We are in the chapter early Buddhist, it's in the chapter 3, let's see, chapter 4. So class, basically we're in the early development in Buddhism. Now we talk about the schism, we get our Buddhism. Let's take a look. According to our previous class, previous classes actually where did we talk about? Actually, we were chit-chat a lot in the previous lesson.
Yeah, that's why I cannot remember.
Just you can remember all the chit-chat already, and the rest you got already, or you chit-chat with the go. But seriously, actually, what is the point is regarding Mahadeva. Because according to Mahadeva, the difference between the Arahant and the Buddha actually is quite big, the differences. Okay, so this is where this is where the starting of the Mahayana school. Because according to Mahayana, Buddha and Arahant, their difference is very big. But nowadays, if you go to the Theravada, you talk to the Thai monk or Burmese monk, usually they say, oh, Buddha and Arahant, not much different. So now we trace back to the source already. Let's take a look, see class. So we are talking about the issue regarding, the 5 points of the Mahadeva. We say Arahant free from the sensual desire. Then we talk about Arahant maybe ignorant of matter, such as a person, all right. And then another school which is Mahasamgika, which is the origin of the Mahayana. They see the things a little bit differently So they say that Mahasamgika point simply downgrading an Arahant, and reflect where the Buddha is. So this is where do we stop in the previous lesson. Now let's try to continue. As regard actual Mahasamgika text, Sally, please. Today your mic effect is very good.
What's the page as it was? Sorry.
Page 98 according to my PDF.
98?
90.
I thought it was 97.
Yeah, no. I think your page number will be a little bit different from me, you see. This is where I stop the highlight as regard actual Mahasamgika, correct?
Correct. It's page 98.
Please continue.
Oh, okay.
Second paragraph.
As regards actual Mahasamgika texts, some of the sutra collections and all of their Vinaya survive in Chinese translation in a language approximating to Sanskrit. There survives a text known as the Mahavastu Avandana, which purports to be the Vinaya work. It describes itself as the work of Lokottara Veda or Transcendentalist school, which is probably the same as the Ekavayavahari text or what utterances. The latter held that all the utterances of the Buddha were concerned with what was transcendent. What was transcendent? The Mahavastu grew over a number of centuries, perhaps beginning of the late 2nd century BC, while its outlook has often been seen as foreshadowing certain Mahayana ideas. It has itself been shown to incorporate whole passages of early Mahayana scriptures and may have been influenced by Mahayana concepts up to as late as 5th century CE. He sees Gautama as transcendent even before his Buddhahood. He leaves the Tusita heaven in a mind-created body to bestow his blessings on the world. And though highly spiritual developed, he pretends to start from the beginning, making mistakes such as asceticism. As a Buddha, he is only omniscient being who is ever in meditation. No dust sticks on his feet and is never tired. He, he eats out of mere conformity with the world, and so as to give others a chance to do karmically fruitful actions by giving alms food. For such a world transcendent being, it is felt that all incidents in his life must have been occurred for a special reason. The Mahavastu thus gives much attention to the Buddha's biography and also includes many Jataka tales examining his development to Buddhahood. A series of 10 stages of the Bodhisattva career were outlined. This idea was also important in the Mahayana, though the details are different. Unlike Mahayana, the transcendentalist still saw the goal for most people as arahantship, the way of Bodhisattva being for extraordinary individuals.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Mr. Leong, okay? Okay. Yes, okay. Okay, class, today we go back to a very interesting topics regarding how do we view Shakyamuni. Okay, question number one, if you go to the Buddha hall, you're going to see the Buddha, right? So when you pay respect to the Buddha, you think, oh, Buddha, you are just omniscience, omnipresent, then you have a superpower, please help me to get something or what, number one. Or second, you think, oh, he is my teacher only, I will try to follow your teaching, that's all. So which one is in your mind once you see the statue? Number one or two? Please choose. Mrs. Leong, number one. Sally, number two. Elena and Mr. Leong, are you daydreaming? Choose. No number three for you. Either one or two only. A and B, no C. Or both.
Actually, seafood is neither one or two. It is actually both because why we show our respect, honor to the teachings of the Buddha.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're asking something also, right? Something like sometimes you're asking the blessing, something like that, right? Okay, okay. You see, class, basically in Mahayana, the tendency more for number one. They think it like a god, usually. I mean, for the general Buddhist, one-day Buddhist. But even though after if you expose more to the Omi To Jing, Guan Xing Pusa Pumen Ping, you also have a tendency to take the Buddha like a god. Because in Mahayana, sometimes Buddha, the differences, the distance from us is very big. It seems unreachable. Am I right? I usually feel, wow, very unreachable, it's very high. Whereas in Theravada, usually the perception, according to Nikaya, the difference not big with me. So for them, actually Arahant and Buddha not big, but we cannot become Buddha because we have to learn from somebody. Okay, so they still think to become the Arahant. Okay, so for them, so this is why if no matter how they have a different way to explain why Buddha get married, will get a son. If let's say Buddha is omnipresent, is omniscient, okay, is so have superpower, how can he marry and how can he have a son? This is why in Mahayana, the origin from Mahayana, if you trace back to the Mahavastu, they say all is pretending. Have you ever heard about that? Can you please raise your hand? You heard about this? Actually, all is pretending. Mrs. Leong, usually in Mahayana temple, this type of the concept is more common. They say this is the pretending. But whereas for Theravada, they think, no, this is the real one. So I will try to do what the Shakyamuni, what the Gautama did before. So we just marry, then now we have kids, then we meditate, exactly the same. But still, you are towards the way to arahantship. So that's the difference, you see. So actually, this type of the differences, you can really trace back to the very early sutra and from here. You see, class? So this is the one we can trace back to here, you see. You see, this is Mahasamgika is the origin from Mahayana. So usually they are the one who emphasize that Buddha actually is pretending. Class, you see, this word pretends to start. They are pretending. So pretending, making the mistakes such as asceticism, or is pretending by using the mind-created body. You say the Buddha actually does stick to the feet and he is never tired. But he doesn't really need the food, but just give chances to the people for the alms food. See or not? That will be different. That's why actually regarding Buddha got 32 marks or 80 characteristic of the Buddha of characteristic, also mostly from Mahasamgika. Remember, the eye is blue, the ear come down to here, and the tongue can cover the face. All this type of thing. So actually, you can trace back to the difference one. Because it's more on from Mahasamgika. So nowadays in Mahayana, basically, what are you chanting in the Mahayana Buddhist association? Mostly is greatly influenced by Mahasamgika. So the Buddha concept is more like omnipresent and omniscience. Whereas if you go to Theravada temple, they are opposite. And usually in Malaysia, we are rojak and mixture. That's why you are half. Because it mixed already, you don't realize, you come here, and then you come here and there and here. Actually, you mix up the thing. And usually sometimes here, earthy itself is a rojak Buddhist association also. We always providing rojak to you until you don't realize which one is. It's where from where? Because we are rojak one. We ourselves are rojak because rojak still the best. For the Malaysian Buddhists, we know this that. But we have to know why the rojak come So today you understand already. See. So class, a few terminology you have to know. Number one mostly Mahasamgika texts, sutra collection, they are in the Chinese translation. Okay, but anyway, now a lot have been translated to English already. Okay, the Mahavastu is very important. Mahavastu Avadana, remember, usually Mahayana texts, the most origin could be traced back to the Mahavastu. It's very early. Then it say, it describes what as, number one is a Lokotaratwata, we call it as a transcendentalist, okay, or Ekava Harikas, or one utterances, okay. So remember, this is not common. Both of the school, where are they? No, they're all distinct already. They disappear already. We don't see it anymore. But from the text, we know that actually, there's got some teaching we can trace back in the text. So this is where we know that. So remember the charts, these two names, it is available in the chart which I provide to you. Class, let's take a look. Yeah, class, see? So this is where the Eka Kata Loko Vatara, you see or not? Here is this. Loko Vatara is under Mahasamgika. Okay, Loko Vatara. Then one more is one utterance. Here you see Eka Vaya Vaharika. Now both is origin from the Mahasamgika. So I think this is about after Buddha Parinibbana 200 years. Before Christ about 300 years. So this is all the school happening here from here already. Okay, so this is how we understand that. Well, basically this type of history you can hardly learn in Orthodox Theravada temple. Because usually Theravada temple, they will mention, according to the teaching, they say, we are the only one from heritage from the Buddha teaching. The rest, maybe they are not. Usually this is how they see it, except they learn history of Buddhism before. But nowadays, I think no matter how conservative you are, internet will force you to open yourself. Then you realize actually they got so many schools, so many brothers, and the brother is everywhere. But you just don't recognize them only. So that's why now keep on fighting. Actually, nowadays there's a fighting between the Israel and also the Muslim. Actually, they are the brothers because they share same God and same Old Testament Bible. Correct? So, but I think they will fight until they die. Until they go to from the earth, they will fight until to the heaven, and from the heaven and fight until to the hell. You believe or not? You see, not ending because they don't use compassion and negotiation to end it. I think maybe their God manifests and warn them, or the fighting never stop because This is the human issue lah, not the religion's issue, But 我哋都唔好得邊度去啫，After 200 years 我哋分20幾個派咗，But no matter how, we won't go to kill each other 啦。最多係嚟講，你唔係 Buddha teaching， the most 都係咁樣嘅啫，We are still okay, because we never kill, for the religions. Okay, next let's take a look, This is something. Okay, let's take a look and see. Then here you see, okay, Kaudama is transcended ever before. So we mentioned all this before. And then one more thing is regards this, you see, class. Okay, you see a series of 10 stages of the Bodhisattva, Pali Bodhisattva. Class, remember, Pali Bodhisattva, usually you can only see in commentary, Myanmar only, but you don't see in Thailand. Thailand, basically, they don't recognize all the Abhidhamma and the commentary. So remember, even though, but usually you don't need to bother all this. If you go to meditate, just use their method. They all claim their origin, but I don't know why got so many versions of origin actually. Never mind, we learn the method. Then we try, we go as far as possible, we experience it, okay, and then we get the benefit, that will be good already. So all the differences, controversy, we just ignore it. This is how we survive in the Rojak Buddhism. This is how we survive, okay. Then you see, class here. According here, you mentioned, you see, now you see, Buddha biography Mahavastu includes many Jakarta tales. Class, remember, Jakarta tale is not the most reliable information according to the Sarvastivada school. And I too believe it. Basically, if you talk about the reliability, which is more higher, compare Abhidhamma with Jakarta, usually Abhidhamma, yes. You studied that before, right? Abhidhamma, all the Cetasika is very, very dry, but very pure. Until no story, you don't feel inside. All the knowledge you use it, apply it for the meditation. Very pure. Whereas Jakarta story, a lot of they will say that 100 years ago, Shakyamuni fight with Devadatta because before the reborn, they are also they got one birth with two heads. One is Shakyamuni and one is Devadatta. A lot of this story. Sometimes a lot of animal. According there's some to the research, Shakyamuni and Devadatta, the reborn at least become about hundreds and 200 types of animal, different one. Okay, but anyway, if you talk about the popularity, I think Jakarta story can be more popular and have a good effect to enhancing the good deed. To tell people to behave good. Story more easy, to make it popular. But usually Jakarta story 係叫你做好嘅啫，唔會叫你做唔好嘅，啱唔啱先？But anyway, if let's say you have to go to the more more serious study, usually we don't use Jakarta to train professional in Buddhism, but we use Abhidhamma. But happily and sadly to say, you haven't finished the training yet because we go as low as snail and the tortoise. Either you're absent or I absent or still in the chapter 3. So next time we go to chapter 4, but you realize really meditation, all the steps you can find is in the Abhidhamma, but it can be hardly popular. But of course, if you're in the Buddhism, I think even the Theravada, some may claim that, Abhidhamma is very later Buddhism. You can't, you can't find a definite answer because different schools usually they themselves uphold their own teaching. So you go through everything, then you analyze, you see which one is your choice. So this is what I can recommend to you all. Then next, let's take a look. So we finished already regarding this. Now we'll go to the what we call it as a trace aspiration, Jakarta and Avatana. Yes, Elena, please. On the mic, please, Elena.
The three aspirations, Jata and Avadanas. Among the early school, one of the three kinds of aspiration came to be espoused by dedicated practitioners. These were to aim to become awakened as a Saravaka Buddha, a Pacheka Buddha, or a Sama Sambuddha. The first is an awakened disciple, an Arahat, one liberated by practicing under the guidance of the perfect Buddha, such as Gautama. This attainment might be in this or a future life. The second is a solitary awakened one. Someone who attains awakening by their own efforts, often by practicing in the forest. In a phase of history when the teachings of a perfect Buddha are unavailable and teaches others only in a minimal way, the term may have originally been Pachekya Buddha, meaning one awakened by a cause, such as insight into the limited nature of conditioned reality coming from seeing a vital leaf fall. Their insight is seen as greater than that of an Arahat. The third kind of Buddha is the perfectly and completely awakened one, usually refers to simply as Buddhas or perfect Buddhas. These are beings who have the ability to rediscover the Dhamma when it has become long in human society and teach it in many skillful ways to the benefit of many others. The first aspiration was the most common in the early schools, but a few aspired to and took vows to attain the higher goals, which were seen to take many more lives to attain. All three goals were seen to require the development of certain moral and spiritual perfections, respectively to an ordinary, higher, or supreme level. These perfections were particularly associated with the Bodhisattva, enabling him to become a perfect Buddha. They were seen as illustrated in the Jatakas or birth stories, which told of the usually great deeds in the past life of the beings that has to become the Buddha Gautama. Each such story tells of a life when, as a human, animal, or God, he did some inspiring deed of generosity, kindness, or wisdom, or facilitated this in others. At the end of each story, key characters are identified with the Buddha or his key disciples or relatives. The verses canonical, but in general only make sense in the context of a commentary narrative in which they are embedded.
Thank you so much.
Sifu got one more paragraph only. Want to read finish?
Quite big also. Never mind. We let Mr. Leung to read it. 我留多少嘛？OK 通常係咪我哋留低少少唔做晒佢係咪？You know who are they? Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva will remain a little bit defilement to help other being. If you clear all the defilement, there is Arahant and Buddha already. OK Yeah, I think Elena 好有眼光 Without reading this passage, actually we don't have much info to talk about to tell Mr. Leong, please finish the last paragraph. Wow, the Jatakas, please.
The Awadasana in their power of devotion. This developed from the 2nd century BCE. They include the Apadana of the Palikan Sravasti Wadim, Awadana Sataka, and Deyawadana, and the Lokatara Mahavastu Awadana. Priest on the past lives of the Arahants and the Buddha, emphasizing the powerful spiritual benefit of having done service to past Buddhas or their relics. Buddhas and their relics were seen as potent fuels of karmic fruitfulness, such that an act of devotion to them could generate a huge amount of good karma. Moreover, making a connection to the Buddha in this way was seen as a crucial prerequisite for future awakening. A related idea is that of the Buddha field. A Buddha's domain or space or sphere of influence, and this came to be seen in some schools as Kamba spread among the even greater number of world systems in the universe. As later expressed in the Visuddhimagga of Bodhigosa, our Buddha has a threefold Buddha field. That of his birth, the 10,000 world systems that shook at his birth and later significant events in his life. That of this authority against world systems was certain auditas organs and power, that of his knowledge, which is immeasurable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, which is immeasurable. Yeah, Mr. Leong?
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Leong, luckily during your reading, your Wi-Fi maintain, I mean, semi good standard.
Yes, lah. I don't know why additional alarm plays are useless, lah.
Oh, no, it's still okay, because you can finish the reading. Because the way I saw Sally is ready to make fun of you. If it's getting worse, Sally start to make fun of you already.
Yeah.
Luckily, not that bad.
They suddenly laughing among themselves.
Yeah, I saw Sally. I know he's ready to make fun of you, but suddenly cannot because it recovers the effect. Okay,
So luckily not frozen.
Yeah. She is so happy seeing you frozen, Okay. Second century before Christ. Okay, finish. Okay. Sally, finish. Oh, Sally is frozen. Yeah, Mr. Leong, thumb up, please, once you finish. Okay. Oh, Sally, Elena, both are frozen, or they are. See.
Karma in action.
佢哋都有今日啦，尤其 Sally 啊，
係咯，
抵死啊，真係啊，成日笑人哋 frozen 啊，真係。哎呀，終於都有今日啦，真係。Okay, Sally, are you okay? Are you unfreeze?
I'm okay. I can hear you.
Okay, never mind. You just off your camera.
I'm trying.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
yeah, Mr. Leong, so happy seeing your karma ripen. Okay, so class, for the sentence, the laugh comes so late. We finish laughing, then he should start laugh, you see. Okay, class, basically what we mentioned for this a few paragraph, Sally, I think preferably you off your camera to get a better effect and more timely to us. Okay, so number one, we talk about Arahant, Pacceka Buddha, and the Buddha. So class, basically, we call it as Arahant. They got three group of people. Arahant is the most common, and most people aiming to become Arahant. The second group is a Pacceka Buddha. So usually Pacceka Buddha, they learn from nobody. They learn from nobody. With the very least teaching, they are able to enlighten. But unusually, according to the sutra, they will mention that Pacceka Buddha, seeing the leaf drop down during autumn season, then they become enlightened. But anyway, it is a little bit confusing because a lot of poet they also see the flower dropping and the leaf dropping, then they start to write a lot of poet. So can you tell me the difference between the Pacceka Buddha and the poet? Where we see both of them enjoy, have a lot enlightened once seeing the flower and the leaf fall. Yes, Elena, what is the difference between of them, between the poet and the Pacceka Buddha?
Both also enlightened. One enlightened to write a poem, the other enlightened in Buddhism.
No lah. Usually for the poet for the poet the poem usually with the sadness lah. Am I right? Flower dropping, the leaf dropping. Usually it's the sadness. Basically, I think very few people are like a Pacceka Buddha by seeing the anicca, dukkha, anatta, anicca for the leaf dropping can get enlightened. Usually, for the people you and I, we have to see the nama, rupa, anicca. Then we can get enlightenment. So always remember, the key point is we observe the anicca of the nama rupa, then get enlightenment. Very few people are just watching the dropping of the flower, then can get enlightened already. If that's the case, Elena, you can stay in the flower garden whole life. Just to get enlightenment, you see, but people sometimes they confuse regarding the anicca from the external and the internal. But most of the people, they need the anicca internal, namarupa, to get enlightened. So you see, this is the second one. And the third one is a bodhisattva. Basically, bodhisattva, it takes many lives to enlighten. And very few people are aiming for that. So number one, we have to bear in mind for these three things. These three, how do we say, is the Buddhists, they are aiming first. Let's take a look, you see. So according he say, the Jakarta, let me come. Yes, this paragraph first, you see. So you see, three kind of the aspiration, as we mentioned, Sawaka Buddha, Arahant, Pacceka Buddha, okay, and Samma Sambuddha. So you see, class, you see, this is a sentence, seeing a wither leaf fall, okay? This is very common for both texts in Mahayana and Theravada. They always mention watching the leaf fall, okay? Then besides this, we come to other one, is this. Jataka story, okay? Then you see, the third one is the Sammasambuddhi. It takes many lives, many lives to attain. Okay, once we talk about the Jataka story, it means what? Past life, that being what become the Buddha, Gautama, and usually past life become a human, animal, and the God. Usually the end of the story, I see, key character identified as the Buddha and the disciple and the relative. Usually this is the conclusion. So after the Jataka story, I think Jataka story is common in Theravada, then Mahayana school. Am I like Mr. Leong? Mr. Leong? Mr. Leong, you are wandering in both, you are penetrating both tradition. Theravada more common, right? Jataka story. Yes. Thai or
Yes.
Thai tradition or Burmese tradition?
I think Burmese tradition, because Thai Jataka story, they don't
Recognize
much
it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
because it's not truly reflecting on the what you call Nikayas and the Suttas.
Yeah. Whereas Mahayana, we don't need Jataka because it's already integrated in the teaching already. Am I right? The story inside the Mahayana text already, some. But it depends, class, if you talk about the mind only school and also the emptiness school, basically you don't see any Jataka story inside. Jataka story can only see, especially in the sutra usually involve the Buddha from the 10 direction and the past life. Usually, I think like Dharma Flower Sutra, they will include Jataka story inside. Di Zhang Jing, all this they will include. And then the Medicine Buddha, they will include inside already. They don't need, they include already inside this. Then next, from here, we go to the next part, is regarding here, you see. Let's take a look, you see. Then you say, okay, Jataka story, we understand. Then another part is we call it as the avadana, emphasize the power of devotions to him. Okay, and he mentioned one is the Savastivadin Avadana Sataka, from the Savastivada tradition. Then he said, they try to making a connection to the Buddha in this way was seen as a crucial prerequisite for future awakening. Yes, okay. Class, have you ever heard about it in the Diamond Sutra there? Before enlightenment of the Shakyamuni, he met the Dibangala Buddha, and once the Dibangala Buddha tried to cross the road, there was a pile of the water. So Shakyamuni using the hair to put on and to cover, the hole, the water hole, to let the Dibangala Buddha to walk across it. And then Dibangala Buddha predict that you will become Buddha one day. Heard about it? You don't know? No, it's very common in Diamond Sutra. Yes, this story is very common. So usually, this section is as what we call here. You see, you see, it's relationship. The act of a devotion generate huge amount of the good karma, making connection to the Buddha in the way that crucial prerequisite for the future awakening. So usually, it is very common for all. Before they want to become a Buddha, they will sacrifice certain thing and they will see past Buddha first, before they become a future Buddha. Then next, let's take a look. You see, the spread among the even greater number of reward system. You see, class, you can see a very big system here. See, 10,000 world system. 100,000 million world system of pyramid. Mahayana is more common on the Theravada, Sally, 10,000, 100,000 system, this type of the big figure. Where do you find more frequently, Sally? You don't know. Yes, again, Mr. Leong, you are penetrating both tradition.
Mahayana.
Yes, Mahayana more common. Theravada, I think you also can find only in commentary. In Nikaya, they don't see it. Am I right, Mr. Leong? Nikaya, they don't see this big system. So this type of big system actually is quite original from all this, the Jataka and also from the Mahasamgika. Then they start influencing the coming sutra. Then, so this is how we know here. But here you see, Visuddhimagga Bodhi Buddha Gosa. Class basically, I have taught Visuddhimagga for twice. I think Visuddhimagga have been influenced by the Mahayana already. Number one, I can quote you the text that Buddhahood is more ultimate than Arahant. They encourage you to become a Buddha. It's very strange in Theravada, but it happened in Buddhagosa. So he said, body mind is more supreme compared with the Arahant. Very funny. So I think I think that's the reason why some Sri Lanka monk they dislike Buddhagosa. Because have you ever heard about that? Actually, before 4th century, they got a monk. The name is Fa Xian. He traveled from Bangladesh before reaching Guangzhou, and he passed by Sri Lanka. And in Sri Lanka, Fa Xian, he discovered the Nikaya, and he spent a few years to do the carving of the sutra, and then he continued his journey. Go back to the China, see or not? So this is story. Where did the Fa Xian stay? Actually, he doesn't stay in a pure Theravada. He stay in the place which can accept Mahayana monk. But nowadays, we don't see it anymore. But if you go to Sri Lanka, you mention this, most of the Sri Lanka Buddhists, especially the scholar, they say, yes, we know. They got some places you can go and see for Fa Xian to mesmerizing Fa Xian this for the trip and staying and the stay back in the Sri Lanka. So let me show you some facts regarding this. So this is how they influence the Theravada there. Okay, let's see. So this is okay. Oh yes. Okay, the school is Abhyakata. Let's see. Abhyakata, Sri Lanka. So class, this is the school where Abhyakata. Yes, Abhyakata came from the outside. So Abhyakata is the school where once Fa Xian reached to Sri Lanka, he stayed at this school, Abhyakata school. Abhyakata means came from outside. It sounds like a humiliation. You don't know this? I think what a humiliation. Come from outside, you're not from inside. Just like when you fill up the form, either you are Chinese, Malay, India, or dan lain lagi. The dan lain lagi.
Like outsider or foreigner.
Yeah, foreigner. You are not you are not within our the school actually call it as another school. They claim they are more pure. They are the insider. Is where let's see the school in the Sri Lanka. Besides Abhyakata, the school. School in Sri Lanka besides Abhyakata. Buddhism school. Buddhism school, not this. in Sri Lanka. Okay, let's see. School of Buddhism. Okay, Dharmagupta in Sri Lanka. To school. Okay, I think I can find from here. Class, let's take a look. Once you go to the Anuradhapura in Sri Lanka. So class, basically you are able to see this already. Yes, class. Okay, Abhyayagiriya is where the Fascian stay. So class, you can write it down. Then we get another school which is more dominant. The name is what? Let's see first. Abhyagarikagari, then Anuradhapura. Mr. Leong, can you remember the name of the school which is dominant in Sri Lanka? Mr. Leong, do you remember or not? Now this is the one. Abhyayagiriya. This is where Fascian stay. Mahavihara, yeah, I remember already. Class, the dominant school is the Mahavihara. So nowadays at the Sri Lanka temple, which is available in KL, they are under Mahavihara school. Mahavihara. You see or not? Jalan Brickfields Temple Mahavihara. The school itself name is the Mahavihara. Da Si Pai. So they are the one who dominates, you see. So class, you see, this is where Anuradhapura. Okay. Anuradhapura, let's see. Abhyayagiriya. Not this. Class, take a look, you see, the distance from here to here, it looks very near, right? Abhyayagiriya to Anuradhapura. Abhyayagiriya Stupa. Walking distance 1 hour only. This is where Fascian stay. This is where the Buddha Gosa wrote the Visuddhimagga. You think 1 hour distance, it is very easy to have an exchange of the view or not? No, yes, Elena, 1 hour walking distance only, of course what? They can map easily. So this is how the exchange view of the Mahayana to influence the Mahavihara. So that's why in Visuddhimagga, you are able to see all this. See or not? Just 1 hour walking distance only. Oh, very near, see? Okay, so this is how we know lah. Okay. Then next, let's see. So this according to Buddha Gosa lah, they say 10,000 word system. Now we go to the Emperor Asoka and the Buddhism. Sally, your turn, please.
Emperor Asoka and Buddhism. During the reign of Emperor Asoka, Buddhism spread more widely, reaching most of the Indian subcontinent, and also beyond, thus becoming the world religion. The Magadhan Empire, which Asoka inherited, included most of the modern India, except for the far south, the largest in the subcontinent. Until its conquest by British, Asoka adopted the social ethic of Buddhism as guiding principle of its rule, and has seen by Buddhists as a model of compassionate Buddhist ruler. The most important sources of our knowledge of him are his numerous edicts as promulgated on rocks and stone pillars in a variety of languages. The Buddha seemed to have a liking for the semi-democratic republics of his day, but he was aware of the rising power of kingdoms. His ideals of kingship come from his view that the first king in human society was elected by his people so as to preserve social harmony, and his ideas on compassionate Charkavitin rulers of the past who ruled with great concern for the Dharma. In the sense of morality and social justice, at the start of his reign, Asoka seems to have content to carry on the policy of his forebears, which saw it as a duty of a ruler to extend his realm by force. According to a might is right philosophy, Asoka had already become a nominal Buddhist in around 260 BC. The full implications of his new faith do not seem to have hit home until after his bloody conquest of the Kalinga region in the following year. In an edict after this episode, he evinced great remorse at the carnage he has caused and expressed the desire to govern, please, and protect his subjects according to the Dharma. He now felt that it was his duty to improve the quality of his subjects' life so as to provide a sound framework for the following moral and religious way of life, Buddhist or otherwise. He inaugurated public works such as wells and rest houses for travelers, supported medical aid, humans and animals, and gave aid for fostering such measures in regions beyond his empire. Dharma officials were appointed to encourage virtue, look after old people and orphans, and ensure equal judicial standards throughout the empire. While Asoka retained some judicial beatings, he abolished torture and perhaps the death penalty. Released prisoners were given some short-term financial help and encouraged to generate karmic fruitfulness for their future lives.
Okay, thank you.
Asoka, one a little bit more.
做得好多冇
A
相
little
關，
bit.
冇相關，
Huh?
做得好多嗬。Okay, let me stop here. Okay, we
Okay.
digest
Okay.
it. Okay 嗬。 Okay, class, let's take a look. Okay, once we talk about the King Asoka, basically we'll try to look for the, let's see how. We'll see Asoka tried to establish the pillar in whole Indian. Let me get the right word first from Asoka. Yes, ethics. Ethics. Asoka. Class, this is the ethics of Asoka. See or not? You can see everywhere. But sometimes people might confuse that the smoking pipe from the factory, they thought this is Asoka pillar. During our pilgrimage group, our pilgrimage in India, people saw all the smoking pillar from the factory. They thought, oh, this is the Asoka pillar. They don't realize actually Asoka pillar is specific in certain region, and usually they be carving there. So just now the text, Elena read right. According to the reading from Elena, it mentioned that Carvin mentioned that number one, this is a democratic, meaning to say the king had been elected by the people. And the second, he abolished all the torture and then try to take good care for all the orphanage, the old people. And he emphasized that the 5 precepts is very important. Why do we know this? Is during, the carving on the Asoka pillar. And it's about 200 years before Christ. Quite early, meaning to say after Buddha Parinibbana, Asoka tried to conquer the whole northwest India, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Especially he tried to conquer the area, they call it as a Makata. Basically, Makata is quite, it has a strong relationship with earth because according to our Buddha Vinaya, for those who's stealing something worth more than 5 cents, you will deserve capital punishment. That is the rule by Makata. So this is how Buddha established the rule for Buddhists. Actually, it goes together with the local rules. Okay, and this is the reason why nowadays you can hardly to punish the people who's stealing worth 5 cents, because we don't know the 5 cents in ancient time and now we don't know the conversion, so it's very hard to practice the 5 cent worth of the subject, and you store it with the purposefully, then you will be then you consider infringe the most serious crime. Yeah, Mr. Leong, during your stay in the Theravada place, how do they define the value of the stolen thing? Mr. Leong?
It depends on the, let's say for example, if a poor person go and steal a bread and be in prison, while a politician because of corruption stole a lot of money in millions, so actually the grievances of the crime and the value involved.
But no definite definition in Theravada, right?
Not really. Because both also is a crime.
Yeah, but the value is very important. Okay, never mind, Mr. Leong. Meaning to say your penetrations to the Theravada tradition is not enough. Please penetrate more. Actually, this is a definition. There's a definition problem. Usually, no. We don't see a definite one. Okay. So nowadays, even though you stole billions like Ajib Goa, still not. Not go to the capital punishment because our rules are already abolished for this session. No mandatory capital punishment for the stealing in terms of the value. Okay, next let's take a look. We go back to our text. So according you see our class. This is where, okay, let's see. Asoka, okay, so he say it's due to the ethics, rock and the stone pillar, in the variety of the language, for the Asoka pillar. Then number one is about the democratic. The second, he's always using the Dharma, to justify people, okay. Then he say, he evinced great remorse at the carnage he had causes. Carnage, carnage means what I see first. Carnage, because later on they say, Asoka guilty due to the carnage. Carnage is the flesh and sling animal of a human. Carnage, meaning to say, great destruction of the life. Yeah, because Asoka tried to inflict the war to conquer. So meaning to say a lot of people die during the war. So he remorse later on. So so that's why he abolished all the torture, try to take good care of the people, because to the previous war he incurred. Then next, let's take a look. Besides, he also appoint Dharma official. So all this type of stuff, you can see it's very advanced in 2,000 years ago. Even though you feel nothing nowadays. 2,000 years ago is considered very advanced already. So next paragraph. So whose turn? Sally or Elena? Asoka asks. I think Elena. Yes. Asoka concern, please. On the mic.
Asoka's concern for the moral improvement of his people was partly expressed in legislation, but more often in attempts to persuade people to live a better life. A prime value encouraged in his ethics was abhisa, or ahimsa, or non-injury. A key emphasis of both Buddhism and other Indian traditions. While he kept his army as a deterrent to invasion, Asoka gave up conquest. Hunting trips, the sports of kings, were replaced by pilgrimages to sites associated with the Buddha. In time, the large royal household became completely vegetarian. Brahmanika animal sacrifice was banned in the capital, and a wide range of non-food animals, birds and fishes, were protected. Generosity towards samanas, Brahmins, and the aged was urged. Respect for these and parents, good behavior towards friends and relatives, and good treatment of servants was praised. Mercy, thoughtfulness, sexual purity, gentleness, and contentment were recommended. The lay orientation of Asoka's value is shown by the fact that the ethics refer to a harmonious society and heavenly rebirth as the goal of good life lived according to the Dharma, making no mention of nirvana. Asoka gave Buddhism a central place in his empire. Just as the Roman Emperor Constantine did for Christianity. Nevertheless, he supported not only Buddhist monks and nuns, but also Brahmins, Jain wanderers, and Ajivika ascetics, in accordance with the pattern that later Buddhist and Hindu rulers also followed. At a time when different religions were in competition for converts, he urged mutual respect and tolerance. He saw all religious traditions as contributing in some way to spiritual development, and his 12 rock ethic holds a common basis for religion that is praising one's own tradition and criticizing others should be held in check. For religious wanderings brings harm both to one's own and others' religion, while mutual respect strengthens both Nikam and Mekton. Though the Theravada and Sarasvativada schools both claim a special association with Asoka, he was probably not partial to any one Buddhist school, and he discouraged schism. He was, however, interested in the purity of the Sangha and may have assisted in the purging of lax monks.
Okay, thank you so much. Elena, are you sure you cannot pronounce this word ahimsa? You know
Yeah, I read.
this is a very this is a very
A-B.
no, this is a very famous vegetarian restaurant. You don't know in the mall.
I know.
You
But I
know.
don't know how to pronounce.
But the mall is already bankrupt already, you know. Yeah, it's somewhere there lah, Sri Petaling, very famous vegetarian restaurant, ahimsa, meaning to say not killing lah.
Yeah, very famous for the hot steamboat.
You be there before, Mr. Leong?
Yes, a few times.
A few times. Please reinvest. Hey, please reinvest some fund to make it survive and sustain, so we can go back again. now the more bankrupt already lah. Ahimsa.
Unfortunately.
Okay, class, let's take a look. This is we try to understand more to the Asoka. You see or not? Class, you see, hunting trip, sport of the king replaced by the pilgrimage, give up the conquest, ahimsa. I think we should asking, I mean, the governor of the present country, which keep on fighting the war to other country. Maybe they start from vegetarian in the first place. They announce, I today start to become a vegetarian. Maybe they should say so. Because of Buddhism, the way treat this a little bit different. Basically, I mean, nowadays, why the war in the Middle East cannot stop? Because their policy is eye to eye, ear to ear. Am I right? No, tit to tit, right? Eye to eye. This is how they present, how the way. But in Buddhism, we try to avoid the killing. So that's why I mean, all the conflict will be ending subsequently. Yeah. But nowadays, Middle East they cannot stop. It's due to the different mindset problem, you see. Then next, so finally, those who suffer is the population, the residents. They will be the one. They are the one who's suffering, you see. Then also encourage become the vegetarians, meaning to say that even though this is not a bodhisattva precept, but they encourage also. And the Brahmanika animal sacrifice, yes, according to the history, I think it's the Kalyama. Kalyama, we have a sacrifice of the cow. According to the tradition, they have a cow sacrifice. Kalyama, animal sacrifice. See or not? This is the tradition. But some picture they will show you a lot of cow all die together. It's a Kali from the chapter. Animal sacrifice from the Kali of Kali.
Sifu, you didn't show the screen.
Okay, I didn't share the screen. Yes, please. Now, class, take a look. So this is the one. Sacrifice of the cow, according to the Kalyamama. Okay, let's see a high-rise stock fowl. Oh, okay. So I have to remove it. Do you want to see the very cruel one? I can remove the one. All die will be very seriously. You don't want to see it. So this is because it's a Brahmanika animal sacrifice. Then beside they say a wide range of the non-food animal, birds and fishes were protected. See or not? So it start very early. Then the generosity towards the samana, all this. Then he said the ethics refer to the harmonious society and heavenly rebirth as the goal of a good life, live according to the Dharma, making no mentions of Nibbana, meaning to say that they more on, how to put it, more on the mandate instead of a supra mandate. So for the Asoka, the pillar we understand. So class, if you got chances to go to pilgrimage, especially you go to the museum in the New Delhi, okay, you are able to see the ethic of the Asoka. Okay, we stop here. So in the next lesson, we'll continue the story the facts from the Asoka, quite a few paragraphs. So before we go to the devotion and symbolism in the early Buddhism. Okay. Hey, I want to ask you, why don't you join the next year? The one-day retreat. I still got place in the December. I remember 11, right? Something like that. One-day retreat. Why do you want to join, Elena? You stay very near. And Sally, one-day retreat. Do you get the message regarding that? One-day retreat. Because we don't have much chances to see face to face, So that's why I got a one-day retreat. Is in the December 21st. 做咩唔可以參加 ？Elena and Sally。
師傅過冬啊嗰日。
過冬啊。I see。你哋就喺正日嗰度做啦，正日做過冬啦。I see。好啦，咁明白啦，係拜六嚟嘅喎，拜六過冬啊。I see，拜六正日啦，不過都有10幾個人參加啦，never mind。咁 next year 嘅咧 ，next year 嘅你哋有冇去參加 ？August there's a 3-day retreat 啦，Sally Mr. Leong 有冇參加 3-day retreat？You see the advertisement?
I am not very sure whether I can join or not, Sifu.
I see. Actually, we are open for waiting list candidate. already.
I know, I saw.
Yeah. If you have intention, I can put you to the waiting list first, because when people go, then you will just replace them. If you're not in the waiting list, meaning to say you don't have chance to go in already. See or not? So anyone wish to go into the waiting list? Waiting list not 100%. Mean uncertain.
I'm not sure yet.
Even the waiting list, you are not sure whether in the waiting list. Okay, 好，好了。So we transfer merit lah. Once you sure, then put in the waiting list. I wish to inculcate more favorable consciousness
more favorable consciousness
through transferring merit
through transferring merits
to my past life enemy and relative.
to my past life enemies and relatives.
May they be liberated
May they be liberated
and free from suffering,
and free from sufferings,
attain nibbana, and helping others to do the same.
and helping others to do the same.
Elena, please.
Thank you, Sifu, for the class today. We give 3 bows. Sadhu, sadhu.
Sa
Bye-bye.